Hey traders and investors, it's Serge Berger here. Let's have a look at Apple today. I think Apple has finally reached an area that will be more difficult as resistance to overcome. So let me give you guys a little bit of perspective through multiple time frames because I see so many folks out there arguing for Apple due to this or that with very little perspective on where the stock has come from and where it is, at least through a 12-month or so lens. So first of all, let's look at the daily chart. And what you guys can see is that Apple bumped into that 100-day moving average. That's this blue line, which hasn't had been all that important for the past few months or so, but there's a little bit of significance if you go back far enough. Anyway, right now we're here, and what we saw yesterday, and this is something I saw a lot of folks on Twitter basically get all up in arms about yesterday, was this spike and this, basically an attempt of a bearish reversal. Now, let me quickly just give you guys a little more detail on that. While I don't disagree with that, a large part, or a good part, I should say, of that spike was due to a 5-minute spike bar here at like 10 o'clock Eastern on Monday, March 21st trading session. So again, I'm not saying it's not important, but it was just due to a very, very quick spike. Could be a fat finger. I don't know. But just keep that in mind as as we sort of watch this. Now, more important, we're not yet seeing any follow through selling. So I think Apple at the very least needs to close below 105 on a daily closing basis in order for this area of resistance here, which we'll look at in a bigger lens in just 1 second. In order for this to be confirmed, we need a daily close below 105. At least that's how a more high probability approach, multi-time frame, swing trading, multi-day, multi-week approach, as far as I'm concerned, would look at this. So get this through a plain white chart. Make the charts weekly. Very, very important to always, always, always look at your charts in weekly terms. First of all, let's keep in mind where the stock bounced. The stock here in February bounced more or less at the August lows, which coincided back to a high where the stock found resistance in April 2012 before making a marginal higher low and then higher high, should I say, and then going lower. But let's look what the stock has come to in the intermediate term on a weekly closing basis. Again, very simple, but it's really important that we look at multiple time frames and multiple, daily, weekly charts, things like that. So on a weekly closing basis, we have better resistance spanning, let's say, from just around where the stock is right now. Let's call it, 106-ish, maybe up to like 108 or so. So we're pretty much more or less right at resistance, right? We see what used to be support, and even here, more or less on a weekly closing basis, we had support last August, but then we finally broke below it in December of last year, then swooped lower, and now we're coming back to this area of resistance. So just keep in mind where we are, and through the lens of a sort of more classical head and shoulders pattern analysis, you can see we had potentially a head here, a left shoulder, a right shoulder, breaking below the neckline and then retesting it before potentially going lower is a fairly classic move. So I think if you're just getting bullish on Apple right now, you're doing it at a spot that's quite tricky. If you're getting bearish, you still have to wait for a little bit of confirmation. One last thing I'll note, if you go on the daily chart again, and we do a basic Fibonacci retracement from the last major lower high, which took place here last November, you will note that we are just about at the 50% retracement. So we've retraced about 50% of that sell-off from last November into the February lows. Again, it's coinciding with that horizontal area resistance. So a little bit of perspective. I hope this helps, guys. I wouldn't go short Apple until we see confirmed a confirmation selling day, and I wouldn't buy it unless we can actually push above 108 or so on a daily closing basis. Hope this makes sense, guys. Please like this video. This time move on the YouTube ranks. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.